Order will be 3 off, and then case. Framework. Interpretation. Should denotes an expectation and therefore policy action. This means that the resolution shows expectation that the agent will enact the plan. This is Heritage in 2000 violation. She doesn't give a plan or policy option for resolution built on a policy framework because the resolution opts to use the word should instead of ought, which applies an obligation to action. Standards. A. Grounds. The A forces me to rewrite generics like disadvantages, counterplans, or critical arguments. This pushes me to do straight advocacy for the killing of dolphins. When policy frameworks allow me to advocate for positions such as another actor or linkage to critical argumentation on easier grounds. Education. Policy making provides the most educational benefits. This is Space and Lyle 03. C. You prefer my framework because it promotes better educational value and allows for more clash on a topic that is more educational under a policy framework than that of a debate of morals. Go to critique. Every culture has its own customs, traditions, and beliefs that dictate the actions of its citizens. Cultural relativism states that although practices and ethical beliefs differ from society to society, it must be accepted as good no matter where you are. Relative to each respective culture's beliefs and moral code, a cultural relativist believes that what can be seen as a heinous act in one culture may be in fact be totally acceptable or even looked upon as a good act in another. This is Richardson 23. The AF is asserting dominance through cultural numbing, which leads to cultural dominance over the Japanese culture. Cultural diversity gives us the grace to indicate that we celebrate what makes each of us on this earth individually unique. Cultural relativism gives good and all insights that will ever need to honor those differences and interact in ways that facilitate understanding. On the international level, however, as we keep cultural relativism in our considerations, we also build bridges to trust, respect, and understanding across cultures and within multicultural societies. The impact to cultural dominance is a loss of cultural self-awareness that kills any authentic human life. This is Richardson 23. Alternative. Reject the AF by voting neg to better reach culturally aware consensus with the Japanese. Only by first building this cultural respect within the human race can we begin to look at the problems that inevitably involve cross-cultural cooperation like the Taiji hunt. When we have an understanding of not just politics but cultures as well, we can solve incredibly controversial issues. Empirics prove this. Because my opponent presents no direct impact and therefore has no significance to why we need to pass the plan for either dolphins or humans, I have more significance and therefore presumption shifts neg. Go to corruption disadvantage. The UN is corrupt, and asserting dominance over Japan would make the power corruption worse through Auschwitz 14. The UN is a hotbed for corruption and abuse. It is opaque and diplomatically immune and largely unaccountable, and has come to regard billions in US tax dollars as not as a privilege to be earned, but as an entitlement. The UN has failed to reform under multiple circumstances. They have promised to enact aid and enforce rights for both animals and humans in the past, and they have failed to deliver. Refer to the oil food scandal of the UN. The problem is coming back to haunt us on a larger scale. Refer to the Ukrainian crisis. Voting AF will increase corruption in an organization that is already diplomatically immune and getting ready to receive a steady flow of money from richer donor countries instead of the United States. Cross-apply to Auschwitz. Go to case. The first 3/4 of my opponent's speech is spent merely reciting how the dolphins are killed. These aren't even arguments, therefore they don't make a difference in this debate. 2, the debate is over whether the UN should pass a resolution on topic. This isn't about whether killing dolphins is good or bad. 3, the only real impact she provides is that we feel guilt. Even if you flow this as a real argument, she provides no impact calculus on time frame significance, nothing. She provides no reason why you vote on this argumentation. Upon closer look at her Butterworth evidence, however, it's apparent that this source is biased. Reject the observations made by this piece of evidence. Let's go line by line. She says that the practices are immoral and killing methods are cruel and that methods are distressing. However, none of these have warrants and therefore they make absolutely no difference in this debate. She says that the killing is illegal, that there is no intention of minimizing pain. 1, she provides absolutely no evidence on how this is true. 2, pain is different in interpretation of everybody and everything, therefore law cannot account for how legal pain can be. Next, she says that humans have an obligation to stop the acts. However, this claim implies that the human is the highest being possible, therefore it's extremely anthropocentric, and this is grounds for rejection.